Happy holidays. I hope everyone is enjoying a fantastic end of 2020. Um, I found this little cute number at Joanne Fabrics this week, and I was like, okay, now I have to do a video message. And the title is going to be Your Own Best Present, right? So I have been thinking a lot about how 2020 has blessed me, okay? I know there have been a number of difficulties for this year, for me personally, and for a great many people, a lot of losses, a few losses for myself, as far as losing family members this year. But overall, I believe that the greatest gift of 2020 is, or has been, the opportunity to be present for yourself. You know, if you took advantage of that opportunity, you may too have found that it was the best possible blessing you could have gotten from this year. This year has been all about the forcing of slowdown. I started the year with a new job, lost the job within 6 weeks, I think. Maybe I lasted 5. I don't know. But anyway, they didn't like me. That's like twice down my life where a job just terminated me because they didn't like me. But I'm like, whatever. I'm not for everyone. And truly, my feelings were hurt because I truly needed a paying job. Real estate is not necessarily paying me because people don't like me. But anyway, I needed something to pay the bills. So I was really hurt that I got fired. Like, bump y'all, you know, this is no popularity contest. I need a job just like everybody else. But the termination came the first week of March. And as you all know, our government sort of announced the corona thing being an issue in the United States pretty much that week or the following week. And so even though I was hurt and devastated by unemployment after, 5 weeks of hope there, I soon became very grateful for the termination. Extremely grateful for the termination. The last week or so that I was on the job, I was extremely sick. I had gotten really, really sick and basically passed out for and I say pass out where I was passing out on my way home from work, and it's a miracle of miracles that I got myself home. And as soon as I hit my house, got into my bedroom, I fell into the bed, and I slept for it was well over 24 hours. I think it was like 36 hours. I fell asleep at, I don't know, maybe 5:30 on a Friday night. Woke up maybe once or twice for the bathroom, and then didn't wake up again until Sunday afternoon. And so I had no idea how sick I was or what I was sick from, if it was a virus, if it was a blood disease, if it was a fever. I just know that I had never been so sick that I just fell out and slept for over a day. So that was extreme for me. And again, it was right before the coronavirus became a thing. So then, of course, I started thinking, well, maybe I have coronavirus, or this thing, going around. And by the time I was able to actually get myself up and about into a doctor's emergency care facility, that's the thing about living alone. If you can't speak or move for yourself, nothing happens. So when I was able to get up and get going, I got to an emergency care facility maybe a week or two later. And they were like, oh, you have acute bronchitis. I was like, this was not bronchitis. Maybe that's the tail end of it, but this whole thing was not just bronchitis. But that's what they diagnosed me with maybe 2 weeks after the onset and a week after the fever had left. And I had that cough for well over a month. So I was coughing, hacking. The cough was scarier than almost scarier than the fever. But all that to say that pretty much since October last year, every other month I was getting extremely sick. And so, which is very unusual for me because I think I have maybe 1 or 2 illnesses a year, which is usually a flu and a cold at certain changes of season. And that's how I've always been all my adult life. So being sick here in Arizona has completely thrown me for a loop. And also got me thinking about the things that we sort of, the things we sort of insist on having for ourselves. 2, the things that we want for ourselves that may not be good for us. And 3, the transitional periods that we require for ourselves that we don't always give ourselves time to actually have and to process. So all this to say that something about moving to Arizona did not sit right with my body. For me to have been sick so often and so severely since last fall, shortly after I moved here. In the summer, in July, I was sick again. Late June, early July, I was sick again. This time I was hospitalized. So that went really bad. And what the doctors told me was that at some point, I must have had a virus that severely compromised my immune system. And we don't know what it was. I can't say it was my travel in Africa because I was sick before Africa, I was sick in Africa, and was sick after Africa. So it's, like I said, it's been quite a year. And I was also tested for corona and they said I didn't have it. So I don't know what was going around. I don't know what I had. I know it was more than just bronchitis. I know it was more than just a fever. But I must say that having the time to process all the illnesses, the lack of understanding about the illnesses, and my life in general has been a blessing. Because, you know, I could have had that job and then, you know, worried about trying to force myself to get to work when I wasn't feeling top notch, or when I was barely able to stand or drive or to do, or even sit up, you know. And shortly after I was terminated in March, you know, I was like, wow, this is sort of great that I don't have to worry about going to work now because I can focus on my health. And honestly, that's what 2020 has been for me. It's been a focus of my health, my well-being, my spiritual well-being, my physical, psychological, emotional well-being. I've been able to process things that I hadn't wanted to think about, that I didn't have time to think about, that I didn't have energy to think about. I've been able to reevaluate relationships that I was holding on to or hanging on to simply because they were long-time relationships. And honestly, after I got super sick in July, I looked at everyone differently. Absolutely everyone. I have 20 and 30-year relationships where I'm just like, I can pretty much leave you right here at this point. And I got to the point where I realized that everything I was feeding into was not feeding me back. You know, I'm pouring myself into these situations, into these relationships, into these people, into these ideals of family and friend and whatever that means. And no one was giving me anything back. Absolutely no one. And basically, when you feel as if you're at death's door, and one, you have no one to call. Two, when you just pick up the phone and try and call people, and they're really like, oh, okay, so you're sick. You know, you've known me for 30 years. I've never once picked up the phone to tell you that I'm sick. And now when I'm telling you I think I'm dying in my bed, you just shrug and say, oh, okay, well, let me know when you feel better. So yeah, those relationships, fuck them. It took 2020 to get me there, but fuck them and fuck them all. And that's where I'm at. So yes, 2020 has indeed been a real blessing. And I've been telling people since my sister got here that my sister, honestly, the blessing in being ill is that my sister finally came. You know, she finally came home, or she came to visit. She spent time with me. She had been basically estranged from herself and estranged from the family and estranged from me for close to 20 years. And she had, had a very hard life herself, you know, drug abuse and other harsh things. And she had entered rehab at the beginning of this year. I was really happy to hear that. And she had been in touch with me since she had entered rehab. And I think she entered in February, but she was in touch since January. And so when she came to spend time, you know, you're somewhat skeptical when you've had this long time frame of someone struggling with their life. And suddenly, you know, they're trying to re-engage with their family and their friends and so forth, and you're not sure, you know, how this is fit in. But she came, she spent 2 months, and I credit her with giving me a revival for life, because, and this may not sound nice or kind, but it's true. I told her that before she came, I was ready to give her everything I have. Leave, she, everything that I've worked my life for, everything I've built up over the years was immediately hers. And I literally called her to let her know how to handle whatever she needed to handle should I not make it out of the hospital. And I, you know, gave her names. This is the real estate agent you can talk to. I said, I don't expect you to keep the house. Just sell it, get the money, go. I was giving her instructions as I was trying to get to the hospital. And she's sobbing on the other end. Shonda, you're going to make it. You're going to make it, blah, blah, blah. And so she gets here, and she is in such need herself that she needed me to care for her. And that was a huge frustration during her visit because, like I said, I thought I was dying. I was extremely sick, and I just couldn't come. I had no idea what was going on, and I felt my life force leaving my body. And so I was frustrated because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm ready to give you the keys to everything I have, access to all my little money, and you can't even get up and like make yourself breakfast, or, you know, you're expecting me to bring you breakfast in bed, which she told me she expected me to bring her breakfast in bed. I was like, chick, I can barely stand up myself, and you think I'm about to cater to you? It's not gonna happen. So that was my sister. But all that to say that within a couple of weeks of her being here, I realized that there was no way I was leaving her anything. I was not. Within 2 weeks, I was like, there's no way I'm about to die and sign over everything to this child so she could just like let it evaporate into the air, let the state get it, let the government get it, go back to the bank, as my neighbor so kindly you know, predicted what happened to my house. Oh, I thought it was going to go back to the bank. Whatever. But I was like, okay, well, I either need to get right and get well and enjoy my own fruit of my labor, right? Rather than think that someone else would be able to enjoy the fruit of my labor or even appreciate it, right? So she appreciated being here, but she had no understanding of everything that I had to go through to get what I had. And so in that way, my sister gave me a new lease on life, because I was like, hell no, I ain't about to leave this house to her so it could just go, you know, up in the air or something like that, because she didn't understand the basics of life, right? The basics of self-care, the basics of just managing who you are and what you have on a day-to-day basis. And so I actually told her, I said, you know, before you got here, I was ready to give you everything. But after you got here, I was like, I ain't giving you nothing. You need to work for something. And that's pretty much where I'm at. You need to put some effort into your life, some effort into developing who you want to be, who you want to grow into, what you want to have, what you want to do in life. And I can't just give you those things. Those are things that you have to see and feel and strive for yourself, you know? And so I don't know if she got it when I told her that, you know, basically thank you for breathing life back into me, because it was at that point that I realized, okay, I need to appreciate what I have and who I am too. And not that I haven't appreciated that along the line throughout the years, but it felt different when you feel it feels different when you feel as if you're at the end of your life, right? And so the biggest revelation for me during my summer illness was I'm always so ready to build and to do for other people that I rarely take the time and the opportunity to appreciate what I'm building and what I'm doing for myself. And that was huge, you know? So I moved to Arizona, and in thinking about this, I moved to Arizona for a number of reasons. One, I needed a slower pace. I was a borderline hypertension, um, very highly stressed in New York. I had a high level corporate, well, not high level, but I worked for a high level executive in corporate America. I wasn't on call 24 hours a day, but I mean, the time that I was in the office, I was just go, 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 go. And even the weekends, I was thinking, okay, what do I have to do Monday morning? This is what I have to do. This is where I have to go. This is what I have to, pull together. And so I was always on, and there was no downtime. There was no mental break, living in the city and working in a corporate job and all that other stuff. And so when my body literally started breaking down. My feet were swollen for over 2 years, like red swollen, red, blood vessel red, swollen for about 2 years, to the point that when I first paid attention to it, and it was throbbing and hot that first time I took it seriously, that my boss immediately just sent me to the nurse. She was like, she goes, that doesn't look good at all. And I'm concerned for you, so you need to go to a nurse. Went to the nurse at the office. They said, do you want us to call you an ambulance to take you to the emergency room, or can you get there yourself? And I was like, is that serious? They're like, this could be deadly, right? And so I'm like, well, gosh, I'm just thinking, maybe I twisted my ankle, or maybe something, this and that. They're like, no, that could be a blood clot. That could be anything. And, it could be anything. Just get to the emergency room now. And so basically that was the beginning of my realization that my health was a real concern. And that was probably, gosh, I'm going to say 2015, right before I turned 40. And, I stuck it out for another couple of years, and then, I started looking for a place here in Arizona, because I figured, okay, well, maybe if I change my environment, maybe if I change where I live and how I live, the stress will go away. My body will get back healthy. I can, reverse this, the hypertension and all that. And that was my thought process. But also in my thought process was I was not dating in New York, always working, but also men just aren't, I apparently am not the one to attract men or something like that in a corporate environment. But whatever the case may be, I wasn't dating, I wasn't meeting men, I wasn't seeing anybody, and I wanted to have a family. And so I was looking for a place where I could meet people, and where I could spend time with people, and where I could grow a family, whether it was with a partner or by myself. And so, in looking for a home in Arizona, I was looking for something that I could grow with, that I could live in for a number of years, and that I could expand with. Also on this timeline, my grandmother has been ill for a number of years, and I had been trying to get her to come stay with me, or prep for her to stay with me for a while. And of course, it was a hard thought living in New York, because I was working, oh gosh, I was probably out of the home for, I don't know, 60 hours a week, so, but I had a great insurance. So I was like, listen, we'll figure out, I'll get a home care aid or something on my insurance if if you come here. And I had the space, I could have converted the space for her. But Arizona would have been better, just for her health, for my health, space-wise, all that. I also thought about fostering or adopting. So again, find a house where I can grow into, where I can have a multi-generational space, if necessary, if it came to that. So all these thoughts were going through my head when I decided to move to Southern Arizona. Something that was more livable, something that was more intuitive for illness, or intuitive for a better life with illnesses and things like that. So all that to say that the home I have, although I love it, it's really a home for more people. And so, it's everything I would want for myself, and it's everything I would want to share with my family and friends. But the simple truth is that for Oh my gosh, since 2005. So that's when I moved from Milwaukee, from my family members, my extended family, to New York. So 15 years now. For 15 years now, I've been living alone. And I have cultivated a very solitary life. And what I realized during this 2020 time and space, by the way, I've had more time with family here this year than in all the 15 years that I've been on my own in New York. So after my sister came for 2 months, my aunt came for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. Just that time alone, it was more than any time spent with family, pretty much in 15 years. So what I'm saying about this is that all my thoughts and all my goals for moving here were connected to other people. I also have an uncle who was incarcerated for a number of years, and he had asked a couple of years ago if he could be released to me. And around that time, I think I was thinking about moving to Arizona, and I told him I'll keep him up to date, because hey, if I don't get grandma and if I don't, foster a child, there's room for you, so, whatever the case may be. And so, in my mind, I had all these options for the second bedroom. It was going to be grandma. It was going to be uncle. It was going to be a child, it was going to be somebody plus me, right? And that is not necessarily the case, and that has not necessarily been the case for my life, which I accept. I'm fine with that. There's no bitterness at this point. It's just like, hey, it is what it is. This is who I am. And perhaps I need to start living for who I am and not who I want to be. And that may sound very foreign, and it may be a gut reaction, but like, hell no, I'm gonna live for who I want to be. But what I've come to learn and come to appreciate and come to realize is that all of my life, I've lived for something other than the present. All my life. As a child, it was, I can't wait till I'm 18. I can't wait till I'm away at college. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for tomorrow. I can't wait for, whatever the dream was, whatever the desire was, it was something other than that present moment. In my 20s, for what I can remember of my 20s, my mother died when I was just after I turned 21, so a lot of my 20s are a blur. But around 24 or so, I sort of came out of the zone, and I, just started doing things. But I was doing things, yes, in the moment, but also to sort of build a future for myself. What type of future do I want for myself? And again, looking forward, and trying not to be what I was in the past, right? In my 30s is where I moved to New York, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to make life happen. I'm going to do what I do, and I'm going to get out there. I'm going to go get her. I'm going to change my whole life. I'm going to go out there. I'm just going to do everything, right? And again, not really living for who I was in that moment. And I think, even when I came here, it was like, okay, well, I have space for grandma, I have space for uncle, I have space for Kim when she came, I have space to foster children, I have space to host, I have space to do whatever, But I didn't focus on just me. And in any of this time, there has never been just me. I've been solitary, I've been alone, but my focus has never been just me. It's always been, when this happens, I will be able to, or I will be available for, or I will have this for others, right? And so one thing that has come to me this time is my next move is just going to be for me. So all the people that I had prepped for, all the people I had prepared for, all the people I wanted to pretty much provide a sanctuary and a home for or with, they missed the opportunity because my net space is just going to be Shonda size, and something I can handle by myself, for myself, on my own, and without any expectation that anyone's going to come to join me for anything. And I guess that's the crux of being present for yourself. Be the best present for yourself that you can possibly be. And I think we women, especially, live for others in almost every stage of our lives, and it's hard to come to the thought that hey, maybe I just need to live for myself. Because we are the nurturers. Whether we think of ourselves as nurturers or not, that's what we are by nature. We are the people who want to provide a space for others. We want to provide comfort for others. We want to provide opportunity and love and care for others. That's natural for women, with or without children. That's who we are. And so 2020 has sort of taught me how to mother myself. Like I said, I lost my mother the week of my 21st birthday. So I remember when I turned 42, shortly after I turned 42, I was like, I have now lived as long without my mom as I lived with her, and at some point I have to start to realize that, no one's coming to save me. I am who I am. I'm all I got. This is it. I need to work it out. I need to figure out. I need to be the best person I can be, not for this person or that person or some other person. I need to be the best I can be for myself. And that's the gift that 2020 has brought to me. That's the realization, that's the understanding, that's the appreciation that I've come to, is that, I have always sought to be appreciated by others, for what I do, what I'm available for, what I want to do, how I want to provide, or what I'm capable of doing for people. But I never really took the time to appreciate myself fully for all I can do for myself and all that I am for myself. And just being the best person I can be for me. For no other reason than God created me to be me, right? And yeah, so that's basically 2020 in a nutshell for me, my realization. Sorry for the long story, but hopefully you grab something from it that will help you in your walk, in your life, in your presentation of yourself to yourself as you navigate your life. I just feel really blessed to have had this year at this time, where the way I sort of described it early on was that, when everything went into shutdown, I was like, this is great because no one's expecting me to be anywhere. I don't have to be anywhere for anybody for nothing. And I could just sit in my house, think, watch TV, cook, eat, be happy, write, listen to music, whatever. I have been so relaxed this year, not all of the year, but most of the year, that I'm literally ready to just go full speed come 2021. Maybe not January 1st, but sometime in February. Like, I'm working a temp job now, and the first week they wanted me to work 3 days. I was like, that's too much. Like, I've gotten so used to having this downtime and to having this space to just think and to breathe. And just simply breathing has been a blessing, and thinking and not thinking too many answers. I have a lot of questions about my life. What's next? Where to next? Where am I going to be in 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever? Because I do plan on moving. I just don't know where I'm planning on moving to, or what I'm going to do when I move, or how that move is going to look with my life. But it's going to happen. I already know it. It's in process. But I appreciate the time that 2020 and Arizona has provided me to decompress from New York, So I'm certainly not that go right now. And I turned 45 this summer, and I can tell you that the 45-year-old LaShonda is not the 30-year-old that moved to New York and was ready to hustle however a hustler had to hustle. No. If I have to hustle on my next move, that may not turn out so well either. So yeah, I have reevaluated myself, my wants, my desires, my needs, my hopes, everything about my life. I've had this time to sort of reevaluate. Again, not to full answers, but to a better understanding. And I know that as much as I love the paycheck that I got in New York, I don't love it enough to return there for similar money. I know that even though Arizona may not be a great environment for me because I went too slow, I need a happy medium between this space in New York. I know that I needed this space for transition. I needed to be in a quiet environment where I could cultivate hearing my voice again, where I could cultivate feeling my feelings again, and where I could cultivate just dreaming again, you know? And I haven't yet had a full dream of what my future may look like because, again, I'm focusing on the present. But I do have an understanding that the dreams will come again, and there will be something for me to strive for again in the future. But for now, for 2020 and everything that this year represents, I need to focus on right now and the present. And I need to focus on being the best person and the best present to myself that I can possibly be. So that is my message to you. And listen, I want to bless whoever is watching this and listening to this. I bless you with all the preciousness that God has for you. I reinforce his gifts to you, his wish for you, his intent for you, his purpose for you. May you be everything that you need to be for yourself in your life, always, right? And may you continue to grow into the person that you are intended to be, the person you are intentional about becoming, and the person that you are pouring into for everything, you know? May your efforts not return to you void. May your joy be complete. May your happiness and everything about yourself be aglow to your face, right? May you just be blessed and highly favored, and know without a shred of doubt that you are indeed blessed and highly favored. You are a creation of God the Most High. You were created with intention, with a purpose, with love, with joy, and with everything he had to pour into us. Our eyes can see, what our skin can feel. But again, may you be a blessing to yourself in this day and this time in your life. In the name of Jesus, by God's most gracious and Holy Spirit. Amen, amen, amen. Be blessed as you go. And Happy New Year. Cheers to 2021 and everything it brings to us.